What is up, guys? Welcome back to the stream. Today we are doing the Felder versus Dos Anjos fight card predictions. Before we get started, I just wanted to take a second and thank all the veterans out there who have served our country. You are deeply respected and greatly appreciated. We're not going to cover the entire undercard, but we will cover a couple fights. And the first fight we're going to cover today is going to be Dontel Mays versus Rock Martinez. Oh, by the way, I am joined with Kai and Keenan. I forgot to mention their names, and I am the grumpy teacher. Let's roll. Go ahead, Kai. What's up?
All right, so Dante Mays, and I will totally biff his first name, so I'm just going to call him Martinez. Martinez is coming off a loss in his last fight. That was his UFC debut. And then Mays is 2 fights into his UFC career. He came from the Contender Series, but has lost 2 straight now, and it's his first fight since May. Mays is 7-4, and Martinez is 15-6-2. In this fight, I think Martinez is going to get it done.
I think so too. I think Rocky
We'll just call him Rock.
I think Rock Martinez is probably going to get it done this time. He has a bit more experience, and I think he gets it done this time.
Well, I'm a numbers guy. You know that. I'm looking at Mays' KO percentage. He's at 71% with knockouts. Rock for a heavyweight is at 53%, and it looks like doesn't have the time per fight average fight time is at 0 this time. But by the numbers, if Mays catches Martinez, it could be a one hitter quitter. But I kind of like Rock Martinez myself, so I'm going to take Martinez as well.
The reason that they have no time in there is because those stats go by wins. So how many wins you have in the octagon, that's your average fight time in there. So they don't put it down because both of them don't have a win in the UFC yet.
Gotcha. That's good to know.
And Martinez's only loss in the UFC was to Alexander Romanov, who was undefeated. That's also another thing to note too.
Yeah, we watched him fight last week, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's move on. So we're all going with Martinez on this one. Let me go ahead and mark that down real quick. Oh, wait, I put that in the wrong one. Let's fix that. All right, so we're going to save that, move on. All right, so the next fight that we are going to highlight is going to be, in the undercard, is Jose Quinones and Luis Smoka. And the reason why I wanted to highlight this fight is because Luis Smoka is actually a personal friend of mine. He's been fighting in Hawaii for many years. He's actually from Hilo, but he lives on Oahu now. And he previously fought for the UFC, and then he kind of, I don't want to say stepped away, but was kind of forced to step away. But definitely a fighter that is action-packed.
So Quinones is a UFC veteran. He's been fighting in the UFC for a little while now. He is coming off a loss, though, to the one and only Sugar Sean O'Malley. So that's always a good loss to have in there. And then Smolka, like Sean just said, or the grumpy teacher just said, Smolka is an action-packed fighter. I know Quinones, his stand-up can be good at times, but like he lunges in a lot too much. I feel like Smolka can catch him in that time, so I'm picking Smolka in this fight.
I also picked Smolka in this fight. I think that his game is super well-rounded, and I think that the only thing that really stops himself from his runs in the UFC is himself. So as long as he's got everything back together, I think he gets this one done. I think he's just talented. Like, he's great on the ground. He's great on the feet too. So I don't see a real hole in Smolka's game, and I think for Quinones, I think it's going to be interesting to see how he pairs up against Smolka, who I think should be a favorite in this one.
Yeah, I'm taking Smoka as well, and not just because he's from Hawaii, but just looking at the numbers. He has better statistics as far as KOs and submissions, and he's only gone to a decision 13% of the time that he fights, so that's also important to me. So I am taking Smoka for this one. I look forward to this one probably being finished either with a guillotine or an anaconda choke. That's how I see it happening, because I know Lewis is very aggressive with head chokes. All right, moving on to the next one. So we're all going to take Smoka here, which I already actually put in there, so we're good to go. Next fight is going to be, and he's gonna scold me because he always says Smoka, like Smoka, whatever, right? All right, moving on. Next fight is Brendan Allen and Sean Strickland, and we highlighted this fight last week, and I guess the fight was pulled off the card for some reason. And I want to say that I took Brendan Allen on this fight, and I'm still sticking with my guns on it.
I think I'm going to go with Sean Strickland in this one. I feel like Sean Strickland at one point he was like, on the up and up, and he was one of the hype fighters. I think he was like 19-1 at one point. He's 21-3 at this point, but I think this is a fight where he can get back on track. I'm gonna pick Sean Strickland for this one.
No, I would have to agree. I'm picking Sean Strickland too. He just came off a win 2 weeks ago against Jack Marshman, and then one of his 3 losses right now is to Kamaru Usman, who is the champ at 170. So, and for Brendan Allen, this is a big step up in competition for him. And it's a good chance for Sean Strickland to get a name and be right back and could possibly get into the top 15 in this fight if he picks up a win, and especially if he picks up a finish. So I think Sean Strickland is going to win the fight.
I do know that Brendan Allen he's a good fighter as well. I'm picking Sean Strickland, but I wouldn't be surprised if Brendan Allen came out with the win, because Brendan Allen's like super talented. He's a finisher, so I wouldn't be surprised either way.
Yeah, he's on a 7-fight win streak right now, so it'll be very interesting to see which one comes out on top.
And this could be played simply on the ground, and if it goes to the ground, I see Allen probably pulling off a submission just by the percentages, right? 57% to 19%. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with Allen on this one. You guys got Strickland?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I feel like the fight could play out 2 ways. Like Strickland can keep it on the feet and then keep his range and stuff, and then that's his like way to win. And then Brendan Allen needs to get the takedowns throughout the fight, keep him on the ground. So like a good striker grappler match right now.
Right. Okay, so moving on, we got Eric Anders versus Antonio Arroyo. I want to say I watched Eric Anders fight, his last fight, and I don't believe I've seen Antonio Arroyo fight. So okay, I'm going to let you take this one.
Eric Anders versus Antonio. Is it Arroyo?
Arroyo, yeah.
Arroyo. I know Eric Anders is a good fighter. He just win his last fight?
Let me pull that up.
He fought not too long ago, like in May, I want to say, or he lost, I think.
He fought a guy named Jotko. Let me see what the result was.
Christoph Jotko,
And it looks like it was a decision for Jotko. Yeah,
Jotko. He just lost to him. Yeah, Jotko's is on the come up right now. But Antonio is just lost his last fight. So this is kind of a step up, I feel like, for Ario to go from his last loss to then fighting Eric Anders, who was a main event against Thiago Santos. Like 2 years ago they fought. But it's a big step up in competition for Antonio. So I think Eric Anders is going to win the fight.
I also agree with that. I think Eric Anders, he has more of that Showtime the Showtime experience. He's had his main event, like you said, against Thiago Santos. He had a main event against Lyoto Machida. So he has experience against some really tough competition, whereas Arroyo is more on the come up. So it's going to be interesting. I favor Anders, and I'm going to pick Anders in this one just because he's super durable and he has experience against very tough competition.
All right. Well, I agree to disagree. How about that? So I agree with you what you guys both just said, but I don't think that Anders is going to pull this off. I'm going to take Arroyo by submission. I'm just noticing here that most of his wins, actually, he's a split, pretty much half and half KO and submission fighter. But I look at Anders. He's definitely one that if he lands a punch, he could finish a fight. But this time around, I just see that it's going to go to the ground, and Anders probably will get submitted, considering Arroyo is, as far as stats go, a better grappler. So I'm taking Arroyo on this one. All right, next one, Hansen versus McKenna. I really know nothing about either one of these. So Kai or Keenan, go ahead.
I know that Corey McKenna is coming from the Tuesday Night Contender Series. I don't know how long ago that she won, but I know that she comes from the Contender Series. She last fought in August, and then she was in Cage Warriors before, so she's from overseas. I haven't really seen her fight too much, but I know that she was putting on a show in the Contender Series. It's kind of a toss-up for me. I mean, as I was looking here, where did I see it? Kay Hansen is a negative 225 favorite, and since I don't know too much about the fighters right now, I'm gonna have to go with Vegas on this and go with Hansen to win the fight.
I'm gonna go with Corey McKenna. I think she is an underdog at this point right now, but she got signed from the Contender Series, and I think that being on the Contender Series and proving yourself on there is just a recipe for success. You've seen other stories like Sean O'Malley and stuff like that coming from the Contender Series, and I think that Corey McKenna is going to be one of those people on from the Contender Series making a splash in her division.
You know, I'm tempted to go with you, Keenan, on this one. Reading her stats, Corey McKenna's on a 3-fight win streak. She's from the UK. And a lot of these UK fighters are tough as nails. This is a tough one, but I'm probably going to take McKenna on this one too. I know nothing about either one of them, so I'm going off the stats. And I like McKenna on this one. And nothing against Kay Hansen. She has a nice armbar on video, but I still like McKenna.
Hansen is more of a grappler. As I was reading, 4 of her 7 wins are by submission. And then the 2 knockouts that she had in her career were early in her career when she was in Invicta beforehand. So yeah, I think I have Kay. Yeah, I'm going to stay with Kay Hansen on
Okay.
this.
And they're both 21 years old, so they're both really young, as far as like the UFC goes. So a loss here doesn't necessarily mean like anything bad for each of their careers.
Right.
Since Kay is on a 3-fight winning streak, she beats Corey McKenna from the Contender Series. That could set her up for a fight top 15 next, since you're on a 4-fight win streak. So she could be breaking into the top 15 very soon with a win here.
This is a fight to highlight for a young up-and-coming fighter. They're both 21 years old. Whoever wins this is like on the next step to becoming, one of the next younger stars in the UFC. So,
yeah, again, I'm up in the air with it, but I'm just going to take McKenna just by her being on a 3-fight win streak as well. All right, next fight we have Julian Marquez versus, Saparbeg Safarov.
I love this Julian Marquez guy. He's from the Contender Series too. has absolute power in his hands, and his nickname is the greatest thing ever. It's the Cuban Missile Crisis. Julian Marquez. I think that name alone, you have to be tough as nails if you're just going to be throwing a name like that out there. But I have Julian Marquez winning the fight. I think he's going to get it done early, but if it happens to go to the ground, Sarov might have the better of him, but I think Julian Marquez is going to get it done very early in the fight.
I think this is going to be a stand-up fight all around. Marquez has most of his wins by knockout, and so does Safarov. I think they're both going to slug it out on the feet, and I think this is going to be one of the sleepers for fight of the night. Julian Marquez has been in nothing but exciting fights that I've seen him in, and I don't think this is going to be any different. I think that Marquez wins this one, but I think it's going to be a very fun fight to watch.
Well, I think I'm with Russia. All right. I'm not going with that accent. I can't do it. All right. So based on the numbers, it looks like both of them have losses in UFC as well as wins. Statistically, they're pretty even on KOs and even submissions. So on the numbers, it's pretty much they're pretty even. Tough one to call. I like Marquez. I'm gonna go with him. I think that's the call.
I think if Marquez doesn't get it done early in the fight, because all of his wins are via stoppage. He's never won a fight that went the distance. So the later this fight goes, I feel like it favors Safarov more. But power is the great equalizer. So I think that he's just going to get it done early. He is a negative, as I've seen on here, a negative 240 favorite in the fight. Or he's a negative 280 favorite.
I mean, who is Marquez?
Marquez is a negative 280 favorite.
I could see that happening. I think everybody's predicting the fight to be pretty short. So that's probably why. All right. And we are moving on to the co-main event of the evening. Abdul Razak Al-Hassan versus Chaos Williams. I laugh about this because I think in my UFC game name was Chaos.
His real name is Kalen.
Williams.
Kalen is his real name, but he can go by Chaos. I'm with it.
If you look at the records, Abdul Razak Al-Hassan, 10-2. Chaos Williams is 1-0. That's crazy.
10-1.
10-1?
Yeah.
Okay, my app is saying 1-0.
It's a close fight. This guy
10-1. Oh my
Abdul Al-Hassan is insane. All of his wins are via first round knockout, but both of his losses are via decision. So Abdul has also beat Nico Price by knockout earlier in his career. And then he's also fought Charlie Ward and Omari Akhmedov.
Yeah, Omari Akhmedov.
Yeah, he lost to him, but by split decision. I think Abdul is going to get it done super early in the fight. I think he's going to extend his finishing streak, or his winning finishing streak, to 11. I think he's going to get it done in the first round.
I've seen him fight a couple of times, and I've just been surprised every time at just how much power he has every time he hits someone. I'm going to also pick Abdul Razak Al-Hassan. I just haven't seen much of Chaos Williams. I haven't seen too many highlights, but from the stats, 50% of his wins come by KO and 40% come by decision. So I think I'm going to be favoring earlier in the fight, I'm favoring Abdul, but towards the end, if it lasts that long, then I think it leans more towards Chaos Williams, but I'm going to go and pick Abdul Razak Al-Hassan. I think he gets it done in round 1.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It seems like if anybody gets past round 1 with him, there's a good chance he's going to lose. But what are the odds of anybody getting past round one at this point in his career? So,
He is coming off a loss, but I remember watching that fight and it being super competitive throughout the whole thing. Like the first round, he was throwing bombs, but the guy was just taking him on the chin and walking forward still throughout the whole fight. But I don't think Kalen Williams' chin is as good as his last opponent's chin. I don't think there's a lot of people with the chin that his last opponent has. So yeah, I think Abdul is definitely going to get it done early.
yeah, I'm agreeing with you guys there. I'm going to go with Al Hassan as well. And guess what? I think he's going to get a second round knockout. I don't think it's going to be first round.
Second round.
Second round. We're going to change the ties for him here. All right, second round knockout.
230 favorite.
Yeah, he's going to knock him out. It's just not going to be in the first round.
I don't know. I feel like he's going to get it done like super early. Like
What's up?
almost
What's up?
with-
Side bet? We got a side bet going on? No, I'm just kidding.
I think it's like almost Thiago Santos, but he actually gets it done instead of getting reversed, you know?
He's like the Rumble of his weight class, you know? Not too many people want to fight him. And
Oh, for sure.
yeah, there's a good reason for it.
Yeah, he beat Nico Price in 43 seconds. Nico Price is a animal in there.
And he's extremely durable. Nico
Oh, yeah.
Price.
He's one of the most durable people in the division. Look at that Vicente Luque fight, and he beat him in 43 seconds.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Insane. So, main event time.
Let's do it. Main event: Paul Felder versus Rafael dos Anjos. And I have watched both of these guys fight quite a few times. Go ahead, Kai. I'll get your opinion first.
I feel as if I'm like my heart, it says Felder all day, but my mind, it just says Dos Anjos all the time because I'm like, what is it? Felder is on 5 days notice. That's already tough enough as it is. And then he's fighting a guy with a good grappling background, and Felder's known for his like stand-up game a lot more than his grappling. Not saying that he can't grapple with RDA, but not a lot of people are willing to grapple with him. You have to get it done standing most of the time. If you gave Felder a full camp, I could confidently say Felder to you. But since it's on 5 days notice, that's going to play a huge factor into RDA's ability. But he has to switch his game plan completely from who's Islam Makhachev and Paul Felder are two vastly different fighters. So they're kind of on the same game plan wise, but like fitness wise, I think RDA is going to be more in shape. So if Paul Felder can get it done early, then it favors him. But the later it goes, I feel like he's going to gas more because he hasn't been in like fight camp shape and has to cut weight in 5 days. So I think RDA is going to pick up the win.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you. I'm going to go with the Irish Dragon, Paul Felder, on this one. It is 5 days notice for him, so he has to cut a bit of weight to get down to, I think it's lightweight, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that it's also 5 days notice for Dos Anjos to prepare for Felder. And Dos Anjos was kind of on a bit of a skid recently. And I don't think that fighting Paul Felder for your comeback fight down to lightweight is an easy fight. And I definitely think it's a tougher fight than Islam is because he didn't train for Felder. And Felder fights so... his stand-up game it's crazy. And I'm going to pick Felder in this one. I don't think that RDA is prepared for Felder in the stand-up. And I think that Felder's takedown defense is going to be pretty good against Dos Anjos.
So Felder's coming off of a loss against Hooker.
That was a super close fight too.
Yeah, decision.
Fight of the year contender, and wasn't it a split decision?
It was a decision. And then Dos Anjos is coming off of a 2-fight skid as well. He's lost 2 in a row.
He's lost 4 out of his last 5.
Yeah.
But The
but
four people that he's lost to are top contenders. He lost to Colby Covington for the title. Then he lost to Kamaru Usman, who is the champ now. He beat Kevin Lee when he went up to 170. And then his last two losses were against Leon Edwards and Michael Chiesa.
but his fight style is just they're just two opposites. You know, there's one who likes to stand and bang, and one who likes to hug and go to the ground. If you know me, I'm not a person who likes to watch the hugging matches. I like to watch real fights. I know hugging is part of this game, but to me, it's boring. And I want to see. And I don't think Felder can finish Dos Anjos at all. So this is like one of those fights where I'm up in the air because I don't think Felder can finish Dos Anjos. And I think Dos Anjos is going to have a lot of ring control in this fight. So I am also going to take Dos Anjos on it. That just for that reason.
Dos Anjos has only been finished 3 times in his career, and the last time he was finished was 2016 against Eddie Alvarez, and that was for the title. Was that Eddie Alvarez versus Dos Anjos fight? So the last time he was finished was when he was the champ, and so every time he's lost, he's gone to a decision.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's kind of why I'm with. I don't think Felder will finish him, and if it goes to a decision and Felder can fend off all the grappling, I could see Felder winning the fight. But Dos Anjos is, when he does win, he finds ways to win. So
this man, Paul Felder, is ridiculous though. Taking a 5 days notice to fight former champ RDA, and you're higher ranked than him, so it's more. I feel like it's a high risk, all right reward, I guess. Not too big.
like Keenan said, Dos Anjos has only had 5 days to prepare for Felder, but the same can hold true for Felder. He's only had 5 days to prepare for Dos Anjos. Tough one.
Yeah,
not a fight that I'm looking forward to, but definitely a good, not a good matchup in my opinion, as far as styles. But for rankings, definitely a good matchup for both of them.
Do you know what the odds are for this fight?
The odds are RDA is the favorite. Paul Felder is plus 165 and RDA is negative 190. Okay. So Vegas is saying that RDA has like a 60 to 65% chance to win the fight.
Okay, so it's pretty close. I mean, it's
pretty close for 5 days notice.
Again, it's just one of those fights I'm not excited about just because of the matchups. I've honestly never been a big fan of Dos Anjos. Maybe he'll prove me wrong today, and I'll have it on Saturday, and I'll change my mind on that. But
Felder likes these short notice fights. He fought Mike Perry on short notice at 170. Also,
and that was a great fight.
These last moment fights produce more money, so that's why a lot of guys take on. Max Holloway used to beg for him just to get paid extra and fight consistently. So yeah, I could see why they would want to do that.
Oh, for sure. I feel Paul Felder, I feel like if he beat Dan Hooker, he would be one fight away from the title. So if RDA beats him, he's right in the mix at 155 again. Like you could face him up against a Dan Hooker, RDA against Dan Hooker, or RDA against Michael Chandler after this fight. Something interesting that could happen. It all depends, but if Paul Felder wins, then you could throw him against Michael Chandler also.
Yeah,
right back in the mix, or you throw him Tony Ferguson, or you throw.
There's just so many names out there he could fight.
Or you can put Gaethje in there too. A Felder Gaethje matchup with a win would be insane. So
the lightweight division is so stacked right now.
It's one of the most exciting divisions to watch, and because that McGregor Poirier fights in January, so everything will be moving in that division, especially kicking off with this fight right now.
Yeah, if Felder can employ the same game plan that Leon Edwards did against RDA, I think he takes it home. But if the RDA that shows up that fought Pettis shows up, I think RDA wins. But I think it's a toss-up, and I think there's a good reason why RDA is favored, but I'm still going to pick Felder. I feel something feels right about picking him.
Yeah, I mean, I could say the same thing. It's again the what ifs, who shows up, ready and prepared for the fight. 5 days notice. Somebody needed to step up, and Felder did. Hopefully, he can pull it off. 59% KOs. I mean, what are the odds that he actually does land? It could happen in these fights. So, again, I'm still sticking with RDA, but you just never know with Felder. He could probably land that one shot that could end the fight, or at least put him down and to finish it.
For sure.
I saw somewhere, and I don't recall what it was, but one of the female fighters, and it wasn't this fight card. I want to say it was next fight card, or the fight card after that had to pull out. Was it? It wasn't Amanda Nunes, was it?
Amanda Nunes pulled out, yes.
Oh yeah, the fight with Megan Anderson or
Mhm.
Megan.
Okay.
That's what they like. I think that's what she's called, Megan. Megan Anderson.
Anderson. Yeah. Yeah, she pulled out because of an undisclosed injury.
She also did just have a daughter too, so could play into it.
Probably. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see whenever she says when she comes back, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that is it for today's live predictions. We will probably have a quick live session Friday if anything changes on the fight card. If not, we shall see you guys Saturday. We will be commenting on the fights throughout the day, and we'll be live. So hope to see you guys all there. Again, thank you for watching. Have a great day, and thank you